What if I told you there was a modern Zeb Wells Spider-Man comic that was actually pretty good? Yeah. I know, it sounds impossible, but just hear me out. Because that is exactly what we're going to be discussing in today's video, so let's get straight to it. But first, I want to urge you guys to subscribe. We're so close to that 30,000 subscriber mark. I would love it if we could hit that goal this year. That would be absolutely awesome. If you love Spider-Man content, this is the channel for you, so make sure to subscribe. What are you waiting for? So basically, the comic I'm referring to is called Judgment Day, which is issue 10 of the current Amazing Spider-Man run by Zeb Wells. So it's pretty early on in his run. I just want to point out as well that it was at this point that people started to realize, including me and you, that this comic run wasn't actually going to be that great. I was making videos about it, and a bunch of other creators were as well. So I think many people just kind of dismissed this one issue because of how bad the overarching story was, and eventually turned out to be. Like, obviously, we had the whole MJ and Peter breakup, we had Paul, we had the Rabin storyline, we had the Norman Osborn stuff, which people didn't really take to at first. A load of things were wrong with this run, and people did not like it at all. And I mean, you can't really blame us. I mean, it was really bad and still is to this day. But looking back, Judgment Day was actually a pretty good standalone issue that I think provided some decent closure to Gwen Stacy's death that Peter so desperately needed. And to catch you up, just in case you aren't aware of what Judgment Day was or is, let me tell you. Essentially, Judgment Day was about a celestial in the Marvel Universe called the Progenitor who came to Earth and decided whether Earth was a worthy enough place or not. The way he would do this is give every person on Earth a flash of something from their past, which reminded them of a mistake or something that they regret. He did this to try and show the humility in humanity. We also have to remember this was a wider Marvel event as well. This wasn't specific to the Amazing Spider-Man. So yeah, Zeb Wells didn't come up with this concept. We just can't give him credit there. But to be fair to Zeb Wells, the story that he told with Spider-Man was pretty good, all things considered. Of course, the likes of Uncle Ben appeared for Aunt May, etc. But for Peter Parker, it was of course Gwen Stacy that showed up, Peter's biggest regret. Now, Gwen Stacy's death and her story has been touched upon many times, including Spider-Man Blue, which is my personal favorite. I mean, it's like right there. You're probably thinking this is just another redundant Gwen Stacy story that kind of touches on the same themes that loads of other stories have done in the past. However, this story needed to happen for one simple reason, and that one reason is Sins Past. Now, you might be a bit confused at first. Why does this need to happen because of Sins Past? Sins Past was like 20 years ago. Now, Sins Past, as everyone knows, is the story that is considered to be one of the worst things to happen to the character of Spider-Man. It is the infamous story where it's revealed that Gwen Stacy in fact cheated on Peter Parker with, you wouldn't believe this, Norman Osborn. Yeah, Norman Osborn. How low can you go? And not only that, she actually had his children in secret just before her death. This completely changed the landscape of the Gwen Stacy character, completely assassinating everything her and her death stood for, rewriting it for a cheap twist. Now, since then, this story would actually go on to be retconned in Nick Spencer's run on Spider-Man, where it was revealed that Harry Osborn orchestrated the whole thing, and the kids of Gwen and Norman were actually clones of Harry himself. However, it wasn't like Peter didn't go through all of the pain. It wasn't like Peter didn't suffer from this revelation that Gwen Stacy had in fact cheated on him. That story still happened, whether it was retconned and it was given a new reason or whatever. That story and all those emotions and all of those things that it did to Peter and MJ's characters, that still happened. The story, no matter what happened during its retcon in Nick Spencer's run, still left a sour taste in everyone's mouth. We've got to remember that the last thing that Peter remembers Gwen for is how she allegedly cheated on him. I don't care if this story got retconned. That is fucked up. Like, really, really fucked up. This is why Judgment Day was important. It was important in showing us that Peter still loved Gwen till the bitter end. And it was also important in showing us that relationship and what that relationship meant for both of those characters, reinforcing and reinstating their love. And I really feel like that's what Judgment Day is about. This story by Zeb Wells was not just a cover-up for Sins Past and the mistakes that have been made with Gwen and her character, but also did a good job of reminding the audience of what Peter lost, and why the lesson that he learned from Gwen's death is not only the superior underlying narrative of the story, but why the lesson he learned was important in the first place. After Peter passes the test set out by the Progenitor, he is allowed one final moment with Gwen, where she utters the words, "I'm leaving, Peter." He says he just wants to give us a moment to see that beautiful heart of yours open, which is a perfect way to send Gwen back off, reminding us of how much love there was between the two of the characters. In all honesty, Wells did a pretty good job with the story, and it's a real big shame that he doesn't write more stories like this, because this one was actually pretty damn good given the circumstances. And like I mentioned, because of what happened with Sin's past, this story was a good way of kind of reevaluating the relationship between Peter and Gwen, and kind of saying, yeah, this is how it was supposed to be. This is not how it was supposed to be. I think it's also great how in the same issue, the person that shows for Norman Osborn is also Gwen Stacy as well, reminding him of the night that he killed her. This was actually a great character moment at the time, as Norman was on his redemption arc. Whether you think this was a good idea from the very beginning or not, that doesn't matter, it still was a pretty good character moment. Either way, Judgment Day is the best Zeb Wells Spider-Man comic because not only does it manage to look into the past to define a new meaning to a story that has been tainted for years, it also was kind of emotional as well. But that's as far as it goes for Zeb Wells Spider-Man comics, because the rest of them are really, really bad. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I mean, hopefully they can get good. Hopefully his Goblin arc, which is coming to a close in a few issues, is pretty good. I'll be doing a review on this channel, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure to subscribe because we're almost at 30,000 subscribers. I cannot wait to get to that goal. Let's do it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and peace.